What's up, guys? Jason Rubin here. Sunday morning. I'm really shooting this clip late Saturday night, but I wanted to get something about UFC 204 up on the channel. So I watched Bisping vs. Henderson 2. Dan Henderson has retired following the loss, a unanimous decision in favor of Michael Bisping to retain the UFC middleweight belt and still champion Michael Bisping. It was the second installment. I feel like this first fight happened like 16 years ago. I know it wasn't actually that long ago, but it just feels like it. And Dan Henderson gave a really nice post-fight speech in the octagon, saying goodbye to the fans, the MMA community, saying goodbye to a legend in his own right, respectable fighter, everything that goes along with that. I want to address something before I even get into the fight itself. I saw this starting to trend on Twitter. I saw this start to go off on social media. A lot of people posting their scorecard of the fight as just a comparison between Michael Bisping's face compared to Dan Henderson's face, to which they keep putting up pictures saying, does this look like the champion to you? I find it amazing that this gets so much play. Has anybody ever watched the Diaz brothers fight before? Because if that's how you're going to score fights, then the Diaz brothers have never won in the history of combat sports, because they bleed a lot. Their eyes get busted open. And the Diaz brothers are just a prime example to use because, for whatever reason, especially Nate, the warrior in the ring. So hold on, just to be very, very clear, Nate Diaz gets the living crap beat out of his face anytime he's fought, whether it be in the rematch against Conor McGregor or the first fight against McGregor of recent note, and anything before that. I just want to make this clear. Nate Diaz is a warrior, but Michael Bisping is the loser of a fight because that doesn't look like the face of a champion when Dan Henderson didn't look like he had a scratch on him. Well, yes, it's a slightly unfair comparison. Of course, they're different fighters. I understand that completely. I'm just trying to point out a little bit of hypocrisy. Judges don't score cards based on... Judges don't score rounds based on what your face looks like, or what your body looks like, or if you have a couple bruises. Judges score fights, and they score round by round based on significant strikes, which Dan Henderson landed 2 very significant strikes, especially the overhand right in the second round. I understand Bisping was dropped early, but he came back. Cardio was a huge factor in this, and BJPenn.com, their recap, highlighted that part of it. I believe the Fight Network highlighted part of that. It was Bisping's cardio is what kept him in that fight, and also is what kept him able to land some devastating combos. Seriously, when you look at when it came to the volume of strikes, it was Bisping. So another interesting point to make from this fight was it seemed like Henderson could have won. It seems like a lot of MMA analysts out there, including Luke Thomas and including Hawani, like they thought it might have been a draw. If not, it was in favor of Bisping. So I just thought that was worth noting. It seemed like the scorecard was getting shifty from some people, whether if not it was a 10-8 in the first round to Henderson, or should have just been 10-9. Rounds 2, 3, 4 seemed like they were Bisping, 10-9, 10-9, 10-9. And then Henderson finished really strong at the end of the 5th round, or midway through the 5th round to the end of it, getting that takedown, which was very important, but Bisping responded accordingly. So I found that to be the most interesting headline from it. And like I say that because if you look back on those tweets, there's so much interaction that those were getting. And no, those, by the way, the people who posted that face comparison are maybe not are the same people who believe that Nate Diaz is a warrior. That's Bob. I'm totally, fully understanding of that. So in terms of UFC 204, that's what I saw. I believe it went to Bisping. I believe it was fair. Some other quick things. I know it was in Melbourne, England, so there was a home octagon advantage, obviously, for Michael Bisping. But back to the cardio thing, I'd give Dan Henderson a lot of credit in general because he's a 46-year-old man. I mean, this guy is 40. It's like dad bod Dan Henderson. There's been a wave of dad bod. Like, I can't believe we call Anderson Silva dad bod Anderson Silva after he fought Daniel Cormier. But again, a lot of it I thought was cardio. I thought Bisping was very, very clean in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds. I thought what he looked definitely in better shape. And I think that's what translated into him being able to land his strikes. That's what was able to land those combos late in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds. That went a long way towards him getting the unanimous decision. I do give Henderson credit. He gave some firework overhand rights early in the 1st round and in the 2nd round. Those were significant, but they were not significant enough. Those 2 punches were not enough to make you to be given rounds altogether. So that's what my big takeaway from UFC 204 was in terms of the weekend. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Of course, enjoy a fun weekend, a Sunday full of NFL games. Tom Brady's back. That should be interesting enough for everyone to tune into. We'll be back on Monday in studio. And other than that, be safe, enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you soon.